flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation. Madam Clerk, could you call the roll?
Yes, Mayor, quorum is present for the City Council, Successor Agency, and Housing Authority.
Okay, so now we're going to have public comment, but first of all, so appreciative everybody was out here at 2:00. Anyone that wishes to make a public comment for the open session may dial 888-251-2949 or 215-861-0694 using the access code for today, June 21st, 271-5599 pound. Wait 3 seconds and press pound again. And operator, please try to be sure that we have nobody waiting on the line. I had one individual, Yolanda Davidson, said she tried to get through twice last week. And she's not just a normal, well, anyway, she's not one prone to cry. So please make sure. Operator, are there any callers?
I do see we have a caller on the line. If the caller would like to make a comment, you can press pound 2 on your telephone keypad.
Caller?
All right. The caller has not raised their hand, so I assume they do not have a comment at this time.
Okay. We're going to try one more time. So check again. There's no callers?
There is no caller with their hand raised at this time.
Okay.
There's only one person on the line. Yeah.
Okay, thank you very much. Appreciate that. Item 1, CS1 and H1.
Warrant register. Mayor, did you want to check with the library before we got started?
Hold on one second. Emery, are there any speakers?
Yes, Mayor, we do have some speakers.
Okay, please.
Hello. I actually have a few comments about multiple things that are on the agenda for today. So starting with the City Attorney's Office, I noticed that there is a request for $500,000 to bring in a law firm regarding eminent domain. I find this very problematic because for one, I'm confused about what the Inglewood basketball, let's see, what do you guys call it? The Inglewood Basketball and Entertainment Center is. And if this is something that our city government is getting engaged with, that is actually a corporate opportunity. And then also, I would like to know exactly where those profits from this Inglewood Basketball Entertainment Center will be going to. And I also would like to know the rationale that the legislative body is using to deem taking residents' homes a valid use for eminent domain. On top of that, I also noticed that you guys are seeking to purchase 139 Market Street to build a hotel and as well as a parking lot. So once again, the same question that I asked for the first item, exactly where will these profits be going if the city is going to build and own a hotel? How are we going to utilize these funds to reinvest back into the community, our small businesses and our residents, to be more specific? I also noticed that a lot of jobs are opening up. I see that you guys are going to be approving for some new salaries. And I wanted to ask and request that Inglewood residents be given first priority regarding being hired for these positions instead of outsourcing folks who don't live in this community to give those jobs to. And lastly, I'm disappointed, to be honest, in the effort that this legislative body has put into letting the community of Inglewood know about our rent relief program. I read the numbers in which you all said actually applied, as well as the numbers which were fewer than 500 people who were actually approved for the rent relief. There's a ton of money that's left over. Maybe you could let us know exactly how much money is left over, and if this legislative body could be so kind to reopen this period to submit applications and then actually use some dollars towards marketing. Let people know that this is available, whether it be via the radio or TV or even putting up signs, but actually giving people in this community the opportunity to know that this resource is available, because there are community members who are facing eviction right now, who are facing housing insecurity, that could really benefit from this program. Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Dixon, how long have you lived in the city?
I've lived here for 7 years. Why do you ask?
Because the IBEC was actually approved in 2017. That's the Intuit Dome that's going to be built. And so that went through a total public process about how that was going to happen, when it was going to happen. And so it's going to be a basketball arena. And
Right.
the,
So from my
excuse me, and so the ticket taxes, sales taxes from concessions, those are all public revenues, and that's how it benefits the city. Secondly, when you talked about jobs, every one of our development agreements, going back to the reconstruction of the Forum, have 30 to 35% local hire provisions.
Which is extremely low. It should be way higher than that.
Okay.
In my opinion.
Anyway, let me finish, and then you can complain. But the reality is that our unemployment rate dropped from 17.5% to about 4.7 pre-pandemic. It's about 5.3 now. And then finally, about the development on Market Street, that is just an option to buy if we have a developer that will build this at no cost to the city and provide public parking. So I just wanted to educate you. Thank you very much.
Thank
Are there
you.
are there
Thank
any
you
oth-
for-
are there any other speakers?
As well.
Okay, it doesn't appear there's any other speakers. We'll go on to the meeting. Now, item 1, CS1 and H1.
Warrant register.
Move allow payments.
Madam City Clerk.
City Council, successor agency members, and Housing Authority members Dotson.
Aye.
Padilla.
Aye.
Morales.
Aye.
Falk.
Aye.
Mayor Chairman Butts.
Aye. Consent calendar, items 2 through 11.
So moved.
Second.
Madam City Clerk.
Council members Dotson.
Aye.
Padilla.
Aye.
Morales.
Aye.
Falk.
Aye.
Mayor Butts.
Aye. DR1.
Staff report recommending approval of an option to purchase agreement with Market Street LLC for a period of 150 days for the potential purchase of real property located at 139 South Market Street, Inglewood, California, identified as Assessor Identification Number 4021009031 at a cost of $50,000.
Move 1, 2, and 3.
Second.
Before we take the vote, let's see, who'd be the most? Would Chris Jackson be the one to speak about this? Okay, so you won't be doing a lot of speaking, to let you know. I want to explain this because we have one person, at least, that doesn't really understand how option to purchase agreements go. The reality is that this particular anybody can say yes. Go ahead. Come on. Come on, Roy. Come on, Arjuna. And the objective is to have an option to buy a property that is situated right in the heart of the former downtown Inglewood that would allow us to see if there are developers that would develop the property in a manner that we feel would be conducive to revitalizing Market Street. Is that right?
That is correct.
Okay. And ultimately, the city would be reimbursed, probably even more than reimbursed for the money we put forward. Is that right?
Correct. That includes parking taxes and other revenue.
Exactly. And that was coming to that. And so not only would we be, if we found a developer that was willing to do the project at the price that we wanted, we would get transit occupancy taxes, parking taxes, and we would add much-needed parking to the downtown area. Is that right?
Correct.
All right. So now, if you guys have anything to add, go right ahead. Go
I want to say something, Mayor.
Go ahead.
I think you know, for those of us who have been here a lifetime, remember Market Street for what it was. And, you know, this particular item, DR1, is what I like to say is a no-brainer, right? I mean, this is a tool that not only we as a city use, but many cities use across the state and across the country that basically say, hey, there is about to be a significantly impactful property up for sale. We need to chime in on what goes there. Okay, if we leave it to the open market, it could be anything. All of a sudden, someone buys it, they can leave it empty for 50 years.
Give them a perfect
They-
example with the EOLA right across.
Exactly. We've seen that happen to properties left and right. When the mayor negotiated a property right across the street with the property that was about to go up for sale that had been used, the old Security Bank building that had been used as an after-school program. Could have gone to anybody. We would have been limited as to our input. We purchased it, now we have EOLA. That's the short version. But the truth is, controlling property is the name of the game. And it's not about, you know, not being able to understand that somebody will buy it and do something with it. It's about what we feel as a city is right for that space right now at any given time. And this allows us the opportunity to leverage all of our thoughts with what comes there. Whoever can't see that benefit to a city, you know, they just, I don't believe they understand what's happening here. That's really the bottom line. So we're basically putting 50,000 in for the option to do that. That's what, again, just to close off, that's a no-brainer. So I look forward to this, Mayor. I look forward to the next steps. We have extremely capable staff here, not only Hargender and Chris, but, you know, Royce, which has been with us for a variety of years, who has seen the developments grow. So I just wanted to establish the fact that this is not a tricky situation. This is a well-established process that cities use all across the country, and whenever we have the opportunity to do so, we should.
But I just wanted to add that they're not as smart as we are, Eloy.
Yeah, I mean, listen, and you know that it doesn't take
I
that
just
big of a but I just think it's so great, and to have someone go ahead, Royce, and explain if you'd like to chime in.
Well, I was just going to add one thing, Mr. Mayor and members of the council, that we have the right to terminate the option agreement for any reason the city council deems
That's
appropriate and
even
necessary.
better.
That was good. So thank you guys very much.
Thank you.
All right. So now we have a motion and a second.
Yes, Mayor.
Would you call the roll, please?
Yes, council members Dotson.
Aye.
Padilla.
Aye.
Morales.
Aye.
Falk.
Aye.
Mayor Buds.
Aye. DR2.
Staff report recommending adoption of a resolution amending the fiscal year 2021 through 2022 budget in the amount of $3,242,194 to provide the Inglewood Basketball and Entertainment Center project and other citywide inspection and plan check services.
Move adoption.
Second.
Okay, and before we approve this, to make sure everyone understands that these are plan check fees that the city fronts that are covered in the development agreement that will be reimbursed to the city. It's so that we have the money real time to hire outside inspectors to inspect a project that is larger than the resources that we have in-house to do the inspections. Madam City Clerk.
Yes, council members Dotson.
Aye.
Padilla.
Aye.
Morales.
Aye.
Falk.
Aye.
Mayor Buds.
Aye. DR3.
Staff report recommending approval of a professional services agreement with California Code Specialties, Inc. for building inspection services for the Inglewood Basketball and Entertainment Center.
Move approval.
Second.
Same thing. Madam City Clerk.
Council members Dotson.
Aye.
Padilla.
Aye.
Morales.
Aye.
Falk.
Aye.
Mayor Buds.
Aye. DR4.
Staff report recommending approval of an indefinite delivery, indefinite quantity bench agreement for the right-of-way and rental and real property acquisition services.
Move 1, 2, and 3.
Second.
Madam City Clerk.
Council members Dotson.
Aye.
Padilla. Morales.
Aye.
Falk.
Aye.
Mayor Buds.
Aye. DR5.
Staff report recommending approval of an agreement with Caltrans related to the City of Inglewood's Market Street Streetscape Program and Market Street Facade and Tenant Improvement Program.
Move 1, 2, and 3.
Second.
Before we vote on this, this is the acceptance of $8.5 million from the state, free money grant for the city of Inglewood to allow us to do much-needed improvements on the facade on Market Street. There are no local dollars in this $8.5 million. Madam City Clerk?
Council members Dotson.
Aye.
Padilla.
Aye.
Morales.
Aye.
Fogg.
Aye.
Mayor Buds.
Aye. DR6.
Staff report recommending receiving and filing of the status of COVID-19 Inglewood Rent Relief Program.
Okay, we'll receive and file it. Is Roberto here?
Yeah, he's-
Roberto, could you just give me just a minute, please? The COVID-19 rent relief program is a great thing. However, the progenitor, the state, does have requirements before you can't just like have somebody call up and say, give me rent relief money. Is that right?
That is correct, sir.
There's a process. Why? Because as with a lot of these programs that have occurred during COVID, there has been fraud. Is that right?
That is correct, sir.
Okay, and so what is the process for people to get rent relief? And how much is it if they get it?
Sure. So just to take mayor and council back down memory lane, in August about 2020, the council approved the rent relief program, an emergency rent relief program, a federally funded program. The guidelines for that program were very limited. The program allowed up to 3 months of rental assistance program for people that were struggling during the COVID pandemic. One of the stipulations is that it assisted families that were impacted financially by the pandemic and that they were under a certain income limit. The city swiftly created a program, created all the IT infrastructure to aggregate applications. So one of the procedures was that families had to apply online for this program. The next process was that they had to supply information that showed that they were eligible to receive the 3 months of rental assistance. And so in that process, we were able to help about 80 families and spend about $280,000 towards rental assistance. Some of the challenges included obtaining obtaining all the information and data that we requested from the families and the landlords.
Okay, now, so this is listed on our website, is it not?
It is, sir.
And we have definitely posted it on our billboards, is that right?
That is correct.
Okay, so we posted it on billboards. And so the reality is that you've had more inquiries than you were able to give funds to because what? People didn't comply with the guidelines to prove that they were eligible. Is that right or not?
That is correct.
Okay, so this isn't a case, as our person in the library lecture hall said, it's not a case of not advertising it, it's a case of qualifications. Is that right?
That is correct, and I'd like to add something, sir.
1 minute.
Sure.
Go ahead.
One of the biggest challenges was when we actually started working on the program in March of 2021, the state simultaneously launched its rent relief program that paid up to 100% of the rent. When you compare the two programs, the city's program paid up to 3 months of rent relief. The state's program paid up to 100%, and it could have been up to 2 years of rental assistance. So when you weighed those two things out, it was obvious that the choice was to go get benefits from the state program that paid 100% of the back rent.
Okay. And so we've really done what we could to make sure that people knew about the program, but it isn't the case of people knowing about the program. It's a case of following procedures and qualifying, because it's not our money just to give away and just say, call us and give us rent relief. Is that right?
That is correct. It's federal funds that's earmarked with certain restrictions.
Okay, thank you very much. Any other questions from the council? Thank you so much, sir.
You're welcome.
So, let's see. Where were we?
You received in file, no,
Oh.
we, SPH 1.
It was received and filed. Okay, so now we're setting public hearings. SPH 1.
Staff report recommending adoption of a resolution declaring the city's intention to adopt the report of the Public Works Director concerning delinquent charges for sewer and refuse collection services for fiscal year 2021 through 2022, and requesting that a public hearing be set for any protest.
Move 1, 3, and 4.
Second.
Madam City Clerk?
Council members Dotson.
Aye.
Padilla. Morales.
Aye.
Fogg.
Aye.
Mayor Butts.
Aye. And 2, set the public hearing for July 19th, 2022 at 2 p.m. 01.
Staff report recommending the introduction of the attached updated salary ordinance for fiscal year 2021 through 2022.
Motion to waive further reading.
Second.
Madam City Clerk?
Council members Dotson.
Aye.
Padilla. Morales.
Aye.
Fogg.
Aye.
Mayor Butts.
Aye. Councilman Morales will introduce. A1.
Thank you, Mayor. There's no reports from the city attorney's office.
Thank you, sir. CM1.
Thank you, Mayor. There are no oral reports from the city manager's office.
Thank you. CC1.
Yes, Mayor, thank you.
I know there will be a report from you. I know there will.
And may I have the city attorney's 3 minutes, the city manager's 3?
See, you've been
I'm
watching,
getting like
you've been
Councilman
watching
Padilla.
too much.
That ain't right.
No. Well, first, let me start off by thanking SoFi Stadium, my office. They were there, Kaylin Austin and Christine Padilla. Thank you, ladies, for attending the SoFi Summer Bash. We had a booth there where we were set up for voter registration, and they held it down. And thank you, ladies, those two that are in my office. Then I would like to move on to our Women's Rock event. The councilwoman and I, this past Saturday, had an amazing event where the women came out and they were empowered. And so, Councilmember Falk, thank you so much for allowing me to partner with you for such a great event. Let me just say this, though. I need to start from the ground all the way up. I want to start from the first floor, from the finance department to the accounting department. Thank you, guys. And to my office, of course, Angela Allen, you know, she was up with us till 11, 12 o'clock at night on the phone. You rock. Thank you. Second floor, Tanya Perry, you guys allowed us to have light, traffic, with the traffic. Thank you, Tanya Perry. To the third floor, Public Works, Angela, thank you so much for your help. Brian Walker, you came through at the last minute, and Dana Brown was the bomb.com. She was the presenter because Congresswoman Maxine Waters caught COVID, and Brian Walker stepped up to the plate, and he found us a dynamic speaker for the morning. Dana Brown, she was amazing. Thank you so much. Emery, you came through with the security. Thank you so much. Fourth floor, and I hope I'm not missing nobody, but fourth floor, I have Elsa and Abby. Thank you guys for printing out those beautiful our signs that were made. Thank you guys so much. Fifth floor, Sabrina Barnes, you have the best staff besides mine in the world, okay? Thomas over there and Jeff, they got the job done. And then Lewis, you got some bomb staff too, because Juan came at the last minute, pumped up the AC. We didn't have no hot flash problems. I mean, we were so happy. So thank you, Sabrina, to you and your staff. Thomas and Jeff over there, thank you so much. Also, Sharon, I don't want to be remiss to say, Mark and Dom, they came through at the last minute. Thank you so much. Then I'm going to the fifth floor. I said Sabrina Barnes, so thank you so much. And then I'm going to the sixth floor. Senator Vincent came and gave us some words of encouragement. Thank you, Senator Bradford. Then I'm going to the seventh floor. Thomas, Bunn, oh my gosh, KD and Carlos. Thank you guys so much. Going to the eighth floor, Ken Compost. Thank you to your staff for beating us up, but we got the job done, and thank you for that. I appreciate it. I appreciate the beating up, because I learned a lot.
We call him Dr. No.
Right. Okay. Then I got to go to the right of you, to Bianca and Rocio. I know y'all was tired of me, but we had to get it done. And you ladies, you made it happen. Thank you guys so much again to your staff, Ken. Thank you to everybody in there. Then I'm going to the ninth floor. Mayor, council, You guys have some bomb assistants up here as well. They got us some things done. Maria Barber, she moved, shook, rocked, all that good stuff. Then I have to go back down to the basement because the print shop made those beautiful notepads that was presented out to the ladies. So thank you to Danny and thank you to Raul. Thank you also to Josh and to Zane for coming out the day of to make things happen. I'm telling you, I have so many people. And then I'm going to go over to the yard and thank Brandon and all those people for making sure that the building was safe and sound. Thank you, and more thank you. But last but not least, again, council member, mayor, y'all came through for us. Y'all came. We didn't think you all was gonna show up and stay like y'all stayed, but y'all did. And we thank you so much. And if I've missed anybody, charge it to my mind and not to my heart. But the councilwoman and I just would like to thank you all so very much because the women were so pleased. They were thankful. They wanted us to come back in 6 months to have something else. And the councilwoman, I had to say, can we have a few minutes? Like, we need some time, but this is needed for our city. And councilwoman, thank you. You rock. You rock. And listen, you are on to something great. You hear me? So keep it up. Great job. Thank you. Thank you to everybody.
Well, you didn't say that.
I hope not.
You didn't say
you
you didn't
should
say
show
that
up to the house
you
in
didn't
the
say
morning,
that we
wake
were
us up.
inspirational in our
I
remarks.
did. I said thank
Oh
you
my
guys.
God. We
We got the
spoke
least
to.
amount of
Can
praise.
I tell you one thing I learned from your speech, Mayor?
What's that?
Is I just had it. It was the second, but to be first. Tell me if it's
I have a rule.
Yes.
Rule number 1 is
Yes.
never be number 2.
There you go.
Okay, and one more thing, Miss Allen, I got to tell you something. You were on the phone like until 11 working on this
Yes.
at night.
With the
Okay.
councilwoman and myself.
Okay, I don't know that Aisha's told you this, but you're salaried, so you won't get any overtime.
I have to.
That's not right.
It was on her day off.
Aisha, you
We
can't
were
pay
going so well,
She can't
Mayor.
live off of thank you.
I'm gonna try something.
I don't know.
All
Aisha.
right.
Okay, Mayor. I think that concludes my remarks. I hope I
Okay.
didn't miss anybody.
Okay, H2.
Staff report recommending authorization for the executive director to execute a memorandum of understanding for infrastructure funding agreements and other shared cost budgets with the South Bay Workforce Investment Board for resource sharing and joint infrastructure cost funding in connection to the One Stop Business and Career Center.
Move approval.
Second.
Madam City Clerk.
Housing Authority members Dodson,
Aye.
Padilla, Morales,
Aye.
Fogg,
Aye.
Chairman Buds.
Aye. HPH1.
Public hearing to consider the Inglewood Housing Authority's 1-year 2022 through 2023 agency plan.
I don't have the little yellow sheet, though. This is,
We go direct to public comments.
so we'll go
Is there
to
notice?
receiving public comments if there are any public comments on HPH1. Operator, are there any callers?
The housing public hearing.
There are currently no callers on the line. Pound 2 will enter you into the queue.
Okay, and while you do that, we'll go over to the library lecture hall and see if there are any comments.
No speakers, Mayor.
Okay, operator, have you found any callers?
There are currently no callers with raised hands in queue.
Okay, then move 2,
Second.
Madam City Clerk.
Council members Dodson,
Aye.
Padilla,
Aye.
Morales,
Aye.
Fogg,
Aye.
Chairman Buds.
Aye. Not necessary. Did you want to give a report? Okay. Are we cool? All right. Appointments.
Say something.
Councilman Alex Padilla nominates and I appoint Christopher Kip Rudd to the Parking and Traffic Commission for seat number 2. Is there a motion to approve? Is there a second?
Second.
Madam City Clerk.
Council members Dodson,
Aye.
Padilla,
Aye.
Morales,
Aye.
Fogg,
Aye.
Mayor Buds.
Aye. We're on to public comment. Persons wishing to address City Council on any matter connected with city business not elsewhere considered may do so at this time. And this time period is 1 minute. Operator, are there any callers on the line?
There are currently no callers on the line.
No callers. Are there any speakers in the library lecture hall?
Yes, Mayor, we have a few speakers.
All right.
Will the timer start when my time starts?
Go right ahead, ma'am.
Hi, my name is Heather, and I'm here to speak about the short-term rental ordinance that's coming up for a vote next week. I've tried to call in multiple times over the last 6 weeks, so thank you for being so diligent on checking in with the callers. I'm here to ask you to please keep the revenue streams open for the hosts that are good hosts in Inglewood. I know a lot of hosts. I own a cleaning company, and I am speaking for hundreds of cleaners that serve the Inglewood properties and that would lose their jobs if you put forth the ordinance as you are suggesting to do so. There's so much money that flows forward through short-term rentals, and to cut Inglewood out of it just seems really nonsensical, because I know that so many of those hosts are using that money to stay in their homes. And think of people who have extra rooms in their homes who are hosting, also quads. I know that you want to limit it in quads and triplexes, but those short-term rentals can actually offset under market rates that people are paying who've been there for a long time. So there is a place for short-term rentals. They need to be limited, and to completely stop commercial operators. They also need to be registered, and obviously they need to be taxed. But please don't close the doors altogether. Keep the calendar open 365 and allow the people who've been living and working off of short-term rentals to keep their jobs. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. And just so that you understand, the intent is to have the program as broad as it can be so that Inglewood residents can take advantage of the fact that we're an entertainment destination. However, it is necessary that we regulate this, just so, like you said, so commercial entities can't come in and buy up properties and just use them as short-term rentals. And we're trying to take care of the homeowners and the small property owners. That's our intent. So it may take a little bit, maybe 35, 40, 60 days, but we intend to allow you, the responsible operators, to continue to make that money, all right?
Thank you very much. Please do so, and keep us in the loop, as well as maybe allowing a seat at the table for some either small business owners or some mom and pop hosts to help guide you on some of the intricacies, because I think that this is a very complex matter, and I appreciate you taking your time to do it and to do it right. So
And it
thank
would
you
be
very
really
much.
good if you came back for the public hearing to give any input that you had at that time as well.
I'll definitely back. As I said, I've had some challenges getting through on the call line, but I will definitely be back next week, and I'm also bringing as many of my employees and my staff as you can hear from as well, because keeping them employed and employed in their community is something that is very important to me, and I hear that it's also important to you, so we're going to hold you to it. Thank you so much.
Oh, my goodness. Thank you.
Well, I wanted to say thank you to the leadership and staff of Inglewood. I'm so appreciative for what this weekend meant, I guess all the way through to Monday. But for me personally, I start off on my Saturdays at SoFi Stadium with Claudine Cooper. And she, by far, no offense intended to the Renaissance that you're into, but she is the lady that has been in the community helping old and young stay healthy. And I'm so thankful that what we do every Saturday morning at 8 o'clock at SoFi Stadium is a blessing for old and young. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Are there any other speakers? Mr. Ward.
Yep, there is. Mayor Butts, I first want to start by saying that you are a terrible mayor. You are an extremely poor representation of what it means to be a leader. And this November, you're going to break your rule because you're coming in number 2, and I look forward to putting you out of a job. Secondly, Aisha Thompson, I want to ask for you to recuse yourself from November's election. Since last year, every time I have communicated with your office to get information regarding filing documents for this election, you have lied to me over and over again. You didn't want to accept my forms the first time. You directed me to the California Secretary of State's office to begin with, stating that your office has nothing to do with filing forms to run for office, knowing that this is a local election and that you are the person who we're supposed to file our forms with. There are also other community members who intend to run for city council, who you have rejected and who you refuse to give information to. And so for those reasons, The community has lost trust in you. I do not believe that we're going to be able to have a fair election if you're in charge of it. So please do us all a favor and step aside and let an entity come in that is unbiased and run this election so that the people of Inglewood can get a fair and democratic election. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Are there any other speakers?
No more speakers, Mayor.
Okay, so just real quick, Ms. Thompson, and we're going to take it easy. First of all, is the filing period open to run for mayor or city council? Can anybody file right now?
No, sir.
Okay, so then if anybody tried to file, there's no election announced to file for. Is that right?
That's correct.
So to help the young lady out, when does the filing period open?
Nomination period opens on Monday, July the 18th, and it closes on Friday, August the 12th at 5 p.m.
Okay, so then there's no way that you could have refused to accept her filing because there are no elections that have been called. Is that right?
That's correct, Mayor, but she's speaking of filing her 501. And so I directed her to the state so that she can get her filing information from them first, and then they then in turn send it to me.
And that's the procedure, is it not?
Yes, sir.
So she really doesn't know what she's talking about?
No, sir, she doesn't.
Okay, all right, thank you.
Thank you.
With that, we'll go to council comments. Councilman Dotson.
How you doing, Mr. Mayor?
I'm doing good, buddy.
This last Tuesday, the mayor and Councilman Padilla, along with my wife and I, attended the YWCA Phenomenal Woman Award celebration. And they were honoring unsung heroes for the first responders and essential workers. It was well attended, and our police department was one of the departments honored. It made me so proud to be in there with all those people and know that Inglewood is had a part to play in this particular program. This past Saturday, I don't even want to say, but I was attending, before they kicked us out, we were attending the Women That Rock. Let me tell you something, they rock. I've got a couple of phone calls about next year because they heard from their friends. So look like you guys gonna be busy next year. But anyway, it was very nice. The mayor spoke, Alex and Morales spoke, and I spoke, and then they kicked us out. So, but I gotta say, you guys did a wonderful job, and thanks for inviting us.
Council Padilla, District 2.
Thank you, Mayor, and I'll take your extra 2 minutes, George. But I just wanted to give a great, again, Aisha, you and the councilwoman, amazing presentation. My wife attended. Stella, she had a great time. Quite frankly, I was gonna pick her up early that afternoon because we had to go run some errands, and I didn't know how late she was gonna stay, so I kept texting her, "Hey, are you still there?" She's like, "Oh, I can't leave. They got this present." She was there the whole thing. I mean, she truly had a blast. And so I just want to let you know that the folks that went there, those that missed it, well, look, sign up for next year, whenever they do it again. But it was a great event. The staff over at the Senior Center, Sabrina, kudos to all your folks that were helping out. All of our staff that were there made everybody feel so welcome, so inviting, and it really gave an opportunity for folks to see how fabulous that Senior Center really is. I mean, folks sat there going like, wow, this, for the ones that were first time in there, they were like, this is amazing. And so, again, another job well done. Again, YWCA She Rose Award presentation that was last Tuesday evening at the Kia Forum YouTube Theater. Another off-the-charts community event, and congratulations to all the sheroes that were there. They, rightfully recognized for the work that they've done in the communities that they represent throughout the region, the LA region. I want to also just real quick touch on the home funding program that we have. A lady gets up here and talks, and it's unfortunate that we have to spend some of our time, because we have to correct folks when they misspeak, right? Because we don't want them to, they speak like, oh, we know what we're talking about. And they're the farthest thing from being right. I mean, they're out in left field. I mean, it's like, wow, what rock were you under, right? Especially if you've lived here for 7 years and you're making comments that are like, really? I mean, seriously? You're gonna make a comment like that? It just, we have to then come back, and the mayor does a great job of walking folks through it so that people listening or watching it, don't walk away thinking, wow, she must have been right because they never had to correct her, but she's not right. And that's why we have to go back and do these corrections. So even, I was talking about the home funding things, about publicity, all of that, we post it everywhere. We talk about it on the dais. It's in all the, our local newspaper. It's in our social media. Our folks do an awesome job of getting the message out there. It's on the billboards. We have to meet certain criteria, and we go beyond the minimal. And we always go to the far extreme. So again, I just want to tell folks, have a wonderful week. Enjoy yourself, and like we say, life is good. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilwoman FAULK, District 4.
Thank you, Mayor. So I will start with the event. And City Clerk, I want to just acknowledge and thank you, because you were just amazing to work with for this event. I really enjoyed working with you. And I see a second annual coming in our future. And I want to thank our assistants, Angela and Lori. They put in a lot of time and energy to assist us and help us, and we really appreciate everything you guys did. I also want to thank our department heads, everyone. You guys have, just like Madam City Clerk said, you guys have a wonderful staff. Everybody really jumped in to help us, and I just want to make sure you understand that all of the help was so needed, so appreciated. And so we want to really thank all of you, all of our departments, for all your help putting together such an amazing event. I also want to acknowledge Maria Camacho, Michelle Ballard, Dana Brown for all of their presentations at our event. They were very helpful. I feel like their messages were very poignant and powerful, and that was the goal, was to empower our women. So, and then also our 3 workshop instructors as well. So thanks to everyone for all their help, all their assistance. It is just amazing. I also want to thank our mayor, our council members for coming. I will tell you this, when we first started talking about the Women Rock Empowerment event, they were like, what is that? Are we invited? And we were like, no, you're not. We want you to come and give greetings. You can get a plate of food, and then you can go. And they were a little bit salty about that, a little bit, but they came anyway. They supported us. They had very wonderful words. I love when Mayor Butt says his saying, what did he say? The first rule is to never be number 2. I agree with
One
it.
is never be number 2.
So I think that hit home with a lot of the women that were present there. And everybody's remarks are great, but I will give a special shout out to Eloy. He says he said something that was very special. He just acknowledged my presence on the city council, and he said that I'm making a difference and that I'm kind of allowing them to see things differently. And I really appreciated that. So anyway, thank you all. We appreciate you. And it was an amazing event. We're looking forward to our second annual Women Rock Empowerment Summit. And then last but not least, I do want to also thank Chris Jackson, who he and I attended the International Conference of Shopping Centers a few weeks ago. And it was really well attended event. It was in Las Vegas. But it's geared towards helping to develop not only the city of Inglewood, but District 4 right now, there's so much redevelopment there with the SoFi Stadium, with Intuit Dome, just a lot of opportunity for a lot of those lots right there in that area. And so we felt that it was very important to go to this event, see what kind of vendors, food vendors and other type of vendors are there that might be interested in coming to our wonderful city. And when we got there, can I tell you, they were falling over themselves to come to our city. So they're very interested. We had some great conversations. I think that we will have some really good new opportunities, new businesses coming to District 4. So thank you, Chris Jackson, for showing me the way, and looking forward to doing that event in the next year as well. So that's all I have, Mayor. Thank you.
And Councilman Rouse, District 3.
Thank you. I remember going to that conference in Las Vegas, and nobody would talk to us. I do remember that. And we would talk to whoever spoke to us, and even who, no matter who they were, retail, we didn't recognize who they were, what they were. Even they had to be talked into it. So it was, I can only imagine what it is now. I should return just so to compare it, but it was just an evolution of another example of our evolution. Really quick, the short-term rentals were touched upon in terms of where we are with it. The truth is, the mayor did touch on it in the fact that, we're resident-driven on the benefits of our entertainment center. And we do have some poor experiences with some folks that have invested, are not present, who rent out their properties on certain platforms that we have negative experiences with parties, with just negatively impacting the neighborhood. We know that there are folks that currently live here who have worked very hard throughout their lives, who have added a second property but continue to live here. We want them to benefit from being what the mayor just called it, the entertainment center, which is absolutely true. That's exactly what we want. So that's what we're gearing towards. That's what I personally am looking forward to, because they should benefit from it, but it should be folks that understand, the quality of life that we expect here, and just establish the integrity of those rentals. So that's it on that. And finally, of course, with Aisha and DIONNE, an amazing event, just an amazing event there. DIONNE's right, she brings a different element to the table, you just can't argue that. She's wrong. She said we could have left with a plate of food, but I didn't see any food out there.
I didn't either. I didn't see any food at all.
So
Not
I don't know what
in
she's talking
nothing.
about. That's the truth.
Nothing.
But it was something that, was extremely interesting to see. That's my no gel day. But I will say that those type of events, they are so difficult to plan and put together. And one amazing, just straight kudos that I'd like to give them is, very seldomly do you get a call 3 days before your event that your keynote speaker is not available. And to make it work, and now I know Brian pitched in, but that's what it's about. You rattle the cages where your staff is, where your contacts are, and you guys did it and made it happen no matter what. And that's a big plus for that day. So, maybe next year we'll eat. Thank you very much. Thanks, Mayor.
Thank you. First of all, I have to apologize to everybody because I've been on the road since 7 a.m. I started with the Vertus Exchange. I was a panelist in the Omni in downtown Los Angeles. It's an annual transportation conference that I represent us and Metro and see LAX was on the board as well. And I really enjoy it because you have all these people from around the region that are interested in transportation solutions. And then I went straight from there to Disadvantaged Business Summit that we were a co-partner with the Secretary of Transportation and Caltrans for people to be informed about coming opportunities to work on projects in the city of Inglewood. And so because of that, I never got to eat anything, and so I had a Nature Valley sweet and salty peanut bar here. I was starved. I also want to know why the council gets to go to Las Vegas and I only get to go to Washington and Sacramento. What am I doing wrong? And I'm going to investigate this. I have to tell you that, you know, like everybody else, the summit was great. The only thing I disagree with Eloy is that on my floor, everybody except Artie and I are women, and so we get a lot of input from women all year long. So we're not hurting for input from women. But you know, one of the things that I thought was so significant, because even though the name was empowerment, what it really was a connection to knowledge and a connection to people, because that's the only true power that there is becoming excellent, doing the best job that you can, and understanding a way forward. And so I want to, you know, I just want to compliment both of you. It was just an excellent, excellent event. And with that, we're adjourned.
Thank you, Mayor.